start, sir. अपने आप unmute करें.
Hi, dear Khaled, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hi, Professor Khaled, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I formally welcome you all in this webinar on tips for selecting the research topics. And before going to formal start, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. Our resource person is Professor Khaled Hussainey, and Professor Khaled Hussainey, he is a professor in give me 1 second. Before going to start, yes. So I formally start with the introduction of our keynote speaker. Khaled Hussainey is a professor of accounting at University of Portsmouth. He has growing research reputation in accounting, auditing, and financial management. He has over 2.5 decades teaching and research experience at both postgraduate and graduate levels. He is working in domain of corporate narrative reporting, corporate governance, earnings management, international financial reporting and standards, corporate investment efficiency, corporate finance, Islamic accounting and finance. Professor Khalid has published over 140 research papers in refereed journals, and he has written number of book chapters and edited textbooks on corporate governance in emerging economies. He also won the Best Paper Award from the British Accounting Review in 2007 and Journal of Risk Finance in 2012. He has supervised 48 PhD scholars and examined 100 plus PhD theses from different countries of the world. He has received research grants from different funding agencies like Economic and Social Research Council, the British Academy, Qatar National Research Foundation, Plymouth University, University of Portsmouth, and Abu Dhabi University. He is co-editor of Journal of Financial Reporting and Accounting and Contemporary Issues in Accounting. He is associate editor as a senior editor of Journal of Applied Accounting and Research, International Journal of Emerging Markets, and International Journal of Accounting, Auditing, and Performance Management. This is the brief introduction of our keynote speaker. Now I would like to introduce myself. I am Ahmed Imran Hanjra, working as an associate professor at Ghazi Khan
Can I start now?
Yes, Professor Khaled, you can start, please.
Okay. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. Today is the first day of Ramadan. I'm Khaled Hussainey. I'm presenting some tips for selecting the research topic because I know this is one of the most important thinking or the most important issue a researcher think about. If you are master researcher or PhD, or even if you are academic member of staff, we always think about how to choose a research topic. The topic today is very important because selecting a new research topic is very challenging, because if you make a poor selection, I think it will be difficult for you to get your degree, master degree or PhD. It will be difficult for you to get your paper published, and also it will be difficult for you to get finance or fund for your research. So selecting the topic is a starting point of the publication, starting point for getting your research degree. So if you poorly choose the topic, you might struggle in the future. Also, when you search for the topic, you need to search for the topic in systematic manner, because sometimes you choose a topic and after a year or so, you find someone else work on the same topic and publish the same idea or get his or her degree on the same idea. So you might be frustrated. Also, if you are not able to choose a topic you like, you might not be able to complete your research topic on time. So the topic today is very simple and important. At the same time, it's about what are the main criteria for the new topic, and also where can we find the new ideas for our research topics. So in order to identify a new research topic, or in order to select a research topic, you need to have a research interest. Ask yourself, which area I am interested in. So I will give you an example. I studied accounting. So during my master degree, I was thinking about which area of accounting I should make my dissertation. So in accounting, we have auditing, we have financial accounting, we have management accounting, we have accounting information system, we have taxation, we have different fields in the accounting. So based on my study in the undergraduate study, I found that financial accounting is very attractive for me. I also liked management accounting. So identifying the research interest at the beginning of the research journey will help you to manage to get the right topic at the end. So first of all, ask yourself which area you are interested in. So let's say I'm interested in financial accounting. After you identify your research interest, you need to start reading about this interest. So identifying the research interest will guide you to focus your reading on research papers or textbook related to your research interest. So reading is very important, because by reading articles or textbook, you will be able to identify what has been done before. You also will be able to identify the research gaps in the literature. By reading articles, you will also be able to identify the research problem, the research questions which has been answered before. By reading research article, you will have a clear idea about the research method used in this particular topic. By reading research article, also you will be able to identify the source of data. How can you collect the data? You will also know the definition of the variables. So by reading, you will know everything related to your research interest. So you need to identify your research interest first, what area you are interested in, and normally these research interests came from the courses you studied during your undergraduate degree or your master degree. From this research interest, you start reading. So someone might ask me, should we read research papers or should we read books at this stage? Actually, if you need to find a new research idea, you should look at the research paper because research papers provide new ideas all the time. So you'll find every paper provide a unique idea, identify a gap in the literature, and the author try to fill this gap, and then they suggest some ideas for future research. If you need to go in depth in specific idea, you can read book. For example, you can read an article about Islamic finance, but when you are reading, you find some concepts in the article which you are unable to understand. In this case, you need to look at any Islamic finance textbook to read in details to understand the concept itself. So identify your research interest will be the first step to find a new research idea. Then start reading articles and also reading textbook if needed to understand the concepts. After that, you need to identify after this reading what idea attracts you and you feel that you are interested in. So you should show some interest in the idea you are looking at and you plan to work on. So you need to identify the idea. It will be better to write the idea because when you write the idea, you can share this idea with your professors, with your teachers to get some feedback about the idea. And once you write the idea and you identify the idea, this will be the right time to ask expert in the area about the idea, to ask your professors or your supervisors or your colleagues, senior colleagues. So rather than asking them, can you please give me an idea? You can ask them that I read this paper, I found very interesting idea. I think this idea is valid. What do you think? Or does this idea make sense? So by this way, you have created your own idea. And also, rather than having one idea, by reading the articles, as I mentioned, you will be able to identify different ideas. So you might have plan A, this idea. If it doesn't work, or if my supervisor doesn't like this idea, I can have plan B and the plan C, so I can have different ideas. But here, as you can see, identifying the research idea is the responsibility of the student or the researcher himself or herself, not the responsibility of the expert or the supervisor. The expert or the supervisor came at the end of these 5 steps or 6 steps, 5 steps. Ask the expert once you have identified your research interest, your finished or completed reading key articles in the area and maybe textbook, you identify the idea, you are able to write this idea, and then at that time you can ask the right question, what do you think about this idea? And at the same time, you need to ask this question after you follow step number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So by this way, you will be able to get an idea. So this might raise 2 questions. First of all, how can we know if the idea is good? So what are the criteria for selecting the new idea? And second question is, how can we find the new idea? So we need now to know what can be considered as a new idea, the criteria for new ideas, and also where can we find these new ideas. First of all, when you choose the research topic, what you need to keep in mind, you need to keep in mind that this research topic should interest you. So this research topic should match the research interest. So if you are interested in financial accounting, for example, this research topic should be related to financial accounting. So you will find a huge list of topics related to financial accounting, you need to choose one of these topics which you feel that you are interested in. Because if you are interested in the topic, I'm sure that you will spend much time reading articles to understand more this topic. But you need also to be sure that the topic itself interests your potential supervisor. Because you might find a very interesting topic, but at the same time, you didn't find any supervisors who might be interested in this topic. So you need to find out a topic which interests you and at the same time interest your supervisors or your co-authors or interest any external audience for the research topic. Second point, when you choose the research topic, you need to be sure that the topic is new. So topic is new means that it provides something incremental. It provides an incremental contribution above what we know before. So don't repeat the topic investigated before without having a rationale why you are repeating the same topics. So try to find something new rather than replicating or duplicating the ideas in the literature. Number 4, you need also to keep in mind that the topic is relevant. So you need to ask yourself, what is the research problem? And once you identify the research problem, you need to ask yourself, what is the importance of this research? So what is the importance of solving this problem? Who might be interested in the findings of my research? To what extent my research has an impact and an impact on whom? So think also about how this research might solve a problem in practice or how this research might add value to academic literature. So also you need to think about the interest, how the research is new, avoid duplication, and the relevance of the research. So you might ask, so where can we find this new idea? Finding new idea is easy, but it's subject to your own reading. So you have to read. So you have to read what? First of all, you need to read published articles in top-ranked journals. So task number 1 is reading. So reading articles, don't waste your time to read all the articles in the media, in the internet. So you need to identify the top-ranked journals in your field, and based on these top-ranked journals, you need to identify the recent articles, the most recent articles, last 2 or 3 years, to see what is the trend in research in your area. So if you are just started your research, if you are master degree or you are a PhD degree student, you need to ask your supervisor, what are the top-ranked journals in the field? Also, to get a new idea, we have review articles. Many articles and also some journals are interested to produce review articles. From these review articles, you will find hundreds of research new ideas. Because in these research articles or in these review articles, what the authors do, they survey the literature in particular area from the start until the end. So if we say disclosure, for example, so they look at the disclosure study since 1930s until now. So they survey all the literature in this review article, and then they identify the research gap in the literature. And after that, they suggest a number of ideas for researcher to consider as future research. So if you are lucky enough and you find a journal which publish review articles, you will find many research ideas. And you can think about these ideas, which of these ideas might be suitable for your interest. Also, if you search Google Scholar or Google for special issues, if you search for special issues, what is special issues is, in many academic journals, there is guest editors who has a permission from the main editor of the journal to have a special issue on a topic which is considered as a new topic or a new trend in research. So if you search for special issues in your field, you will be aware about what are the contemporary issues, what are the recent issues in your field. And from these special issues, you will find out the call for papers and some interesting ideas mentioned in these special issues that might help you to think about writing a paper or writing your master or PhD dissertation on this topic. So I will give you an example for each of these points. Also, you need to know what are the top ranked conferences in your field. And from top ranked conferences, you will be able to identify who are the key authors or the key contributors to these conferences. Also, you will be able to identify the contemporary research issues discussed in these conferences. And this will give you an idea about what are the new topics discussed today. The final source of finding a new idea is the professional articles. Articles written by professional people rather than academic people. And I have some examples. I will show you what I mean here by professional articles. So when you look at this material, the published, the review article, special issue, conferences paper, if available, and the professional articles, you need to start thinking about what has been done in this article, what are the gaps, and what is the future research suggested. So in most of top-ranked journals, you will find that in the conclusion, the authors discuss the limitation of the research. And the word limitation here means what has not been done by the researcher. So they can mention we are unable to consider this and this and this. So from the research limitations, you can think about, I can consider this point, and if I consider this point, this will provide an incremental contribution to the literature. So in this case, you are extending the research idea proposed by the same authors. Also, in the conclusion, in the top-ranked journals, you will find in the last paragraph some interesting idea for future research. So normally, authors provide ideas for future research. So if you identify that your research interest is financial accounting, for example, if you start reading recent articles, you need to look at the conclusion. You need to find out the research limitations for each articles and also the ideas for future research. So you need to list all this idea, write down all this idea in front of you, think about this idea, because not all the ideas in the top-ranked journals will be applicable to your context. So if you are doing research in Pakistan, not all ideas discussed in American journals is applicable to the Pakistani context. So you need to list this idea, think about the idea, think about the extent to which this idea is applicable to the context I'm interested in, and also try to write your own idea. Think about how to link idea number one with idea number two, or you can merge three ideas in one idea, or you can modify one of the idea raised by the authors. And you need to discuss these ideas, of course, with experts. But before discussing the ideas with experts, it might be very important to check the data availability. To what extent you have resources? To what extent you have articles to write the literature review for this idea? To what extent the research method is understandable to you? To what extent you can get data to do the empirical analysis? So you need to find out if this idea can easily done in my research or not. So if you have a list of ideas, you can rank these ideas like this one is easy to done, all data is available. This one is difficult to done, so I will ranked as the last one, and some in the middle. So when you discuss with your co-authors or with your supervisors, you will have some ranking for these ideas. So someone might ask me, how can we know the top ranked journals in the field? And this, of course, fair question. The top ranked journals is based on international ranking. So for example, ABS ranking is a British one. It's the Association of Business School rank academic journals 4 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we consider, based on this ranking, 4 and 3 is high ranked journals, 2 and 1 is low ranked journals. So if the journal is not exist in this list, it's not of high quality. If it exists and 3 or 4 is high quality, 2 and 1 is low quality. Also, one of the most widely used ranking is ABDC. A and B, high ranked journals, and C is low ranked journals. Some consider A high ranked, B is middle ranked journals, and C is low ranked. Some countries base the rank on Scopus. Not all Scopus journals are of high quality, but some consider all of them as high quality, so I have to accept. Also, based on this website, SGR, you can find out the impact factor of the journals. So journals with high impact factor is considered as high quality journals. So first of all, you need to know the rank of these journals, and then you need to identify the journals which match your research interest. For example, I am interested in financial accounting, so I can list in front of me now all academic journals which publish articles in financial accounting. So by this way, I identify high quality journals. I can start reading recent articles in these high quality journals. I can read the conclusion to identify the research gaps in these articles, and also I can read the ideas for future research in the conclusion in these ideas. If you are interested in management accounting, you need to look at the management accounting journals and to identify what has been done, the research gap, and the contribution. There is many other journals for auditing. So I get this list of journals by looking at the ranking provided, either ABS or ABDC, sometimes Scopus. So by looking at this ranking, you can easily identify the the journals related to your field. So this is auditing journals, accounting education journals, if you are interested in accounting education, public sector accounting journals, accounting history journals, Islamic Accounting and Finance journals, and this one of the most interesting journal in the field of accounting. There is other journals in other field, but I'm focusing on accounting because it's my specialists. Journal of Accounting Literature. So this one of the top ranked journals. It ranked 3-star in ABS, and as you can see, they provide articles. All the articles are a review, a survey of the literature, a review. So all these articles review the literature. So what they have done, as I mentioned, they took one topic and they review the topic from the start when the first author discussed this topic until the date of the publication of the article. They identify what has been done, what are the gaps, and they suggest ideas for future research. So if you are a researcher in the field of accounting, I strongly recommend you to look at Journal of Accounting Literature. You can choose any topic. So if you are interested in audit quality, for example, you will find an article about audit quality. So you will understand what has been done in the area. You will understand also the research gaps, and you will find many interesting research ideas. You can choose one or two from these ideas. Also, other journals publish a review article in accounting field. We have British Accounting Review, Journal of Accounting and Economics, and Accounting and Business Research. In my PhD, I was very lucky to read the article published in Journal of Accounting and Economics, the first one, a review of empirical disclosure literature discussion. It was a discussion, it was very short article, but it has a very interesting research idea. The author recommends that researcher can use computer softwares to measure the level of disclosure. At that time, no one has used computer software to measure the level of disclosure. I was just started my PhD. I thought about it and I went to the computer science department, asked them about which computer can help us to read the annual report and to score the annual report. And I did my PhD in this area, and my PhD is driven by one of the review articles, which is from Journal of Accounting and Economics. And of course, I read many articles in Journal of Accounting Literature because they cover all ideas related to accounting. If you can see the first article here, textual analysis of corporate disclosure. And this is very related to the idea raised here in the review of empirical disclosure literature. So what I want to say here, by reading, you will easily find not one research idea, you will find more than research idea. And also you can impress your supervisor by this huge list of research idea. But again, you need to find out which of these idea is applicable to your context, and also to what extent you have access to data for this idea. Also, when you look at the articles published in academic journals, you will find something called most downloaded, recent article, most cited, and open access article. Most downloaded also attracts me as a researcher. So I would like to see which article in this journal is the most downloaded one. Because if it is most downloaded, it might contain a very attractive research interest, or people nowadays are thinking about this article or this article because it provides a very comprehensive and large contribution to the literature. So when you open any publisher, any page of the journal, if you found most downloaded article, try to find out why and which of these articles are most downloaded. Recent article, because you need to look at the recent article because you need to find a new research topic, and new research topic will come from the recent articles. So when you look at recent article, try to look at the conclusion, identify the research gaps and the information or suggestion for future research, and here will help you to get a new idea quickly. Most cited articles also will show you the article which lead the area in the research. Also, by looking at the most cited article, you can identify the key authors in the area. Which author, their work is cited more, and this indication on the quality of the paper as well as the quality of the author themselves. Also, when you open any publisher, you will find articles in press, only early, online first, early view, early cite. These articles has been accepted by the journal, but not published yet. So you might find some articles under these categories, and these articles will be published in 2022. So my advice to you, if you are searching for new articles, please try to find out these articles in press, only early, online first, early view, and early cite. So in accounting research, for example, when I do a quick search for the recent literature, what I found that most of the recent literature nowadays in accounting talk about diversity and narrative reporting. I found also another line of research looking at governance reforms and narrative reporting. I found recent articles about media coverage, tax avoidance, readability, impression management, earnings management, social media, disclosure, and so on. So I can touch and I can confirm that these are new ideas because I looked at the literature. So by reading recent articles, you can create a list of items as I created here. Non-disclosure or information withholding. Okay, so by reading some of the article, I highlighted these as the number of ideas or number of research topics which are or which can be considered as recent topics in the recent international publication. This is step number one. Step number two, which of these topics I'm interested in? If I'm interested in diversity, I need to look at articles related to diversity in top-ranked journals. I need to find out the research gaps from the conclusion and also the ideas for future research. If I'm interested in governance reforms, I need just to give particular focus on these articles. So you will not read all the articles. First of all, you scan the articles published in these top-ranked journals to identify the topic or the topics disclosed or discussed or published. And after you identify several topics, you need to ask yourself, which of these topics attracts you? So I can rank these topics based on my interest, but you might have different ranks. So I might say that I'm interested in diversity. So this would be option number one. If my supervisor agree that this topic is valid and give me the green line to submit my proposal, I will work on diversity. But if my supervisor disagree for whatever reason, I have plan number two to look at governance reform, media coverage, impression management, and so on. So you should have plan 1, 2, 3, 4 based on the resources available, like data, also based on the supervisory team available. Also, I found this idea is very interesting. Sometimes when you look at the concept, for example, disclosure, a huge number of papers discuss why firms disclose information in the annual report. I found just one article discuss why firms not disclose or withhold information. So this gives me an idea that if I'm thinking about new idea, you might find the word and the opposite to the word. So you can think about disclosure, non-disclosure, corporate social responsibility, CSR. We can think about corporate social irresponsibility, the opposite. The bright side of corporate governance. Most of the research found that corporate governance have a positive impact on disclosure and performance and so on. I can think about the dark side of corporate governance, the negative consequences of corporate governance. So you can think about the word and the opposite. You might find some interesting idea, and I found it here. Non-disclosure or information withholding. So it was just one article touch this idea to the best of my knowledge. So I found, okay, why not researcher look at non-disclosure or information withholding? How can we measure information withholding? How can we identify factors affecting information withholding and the impact of withholding information on the stock market? Reading recent articles also, you will find that there is a great debate about external assurance on the narrative reporting. In auditing field, now there is a great interest in key audit matters and extended audit report and linking them with the narrative reporting. In governance field, there is a focus on chairman of the audit committee and the overlapped audit committee memberships, and these are included now in the recent literature. Here, as I mentioned, corporate governance have a dark side and a bright side. Most of the literature try to find the impact of the positive consequences of corporate governance. So we can look at the dark side, which is a negative impact of the corporate governance. Also, for the research on the consequences of disclosure, most of the literature focus on cost of capital, firm value, and so on. Very limited research look at credit rating and trade credit. So this might be one of the research ideas. Most of the research look at the economic consequences of disclosure. Very little research look at non-economic consequences of disclosure, like the impact of disclosure on trust and loyalty. So again, these kind of ideas, I'm saying that when we read articles, you will find the recent trend in the research. These other ideas, you'll find many papers on sustainability reporting, integrated reporting, related party transaction reporting, anti-money laundering reporting, country by country reporting, and big data and accounting. And of course, because of COVID, we have many research ideas discuss the impact of COVID-19 on accounting, finance, and auditing practice. So this one way, first of all, we read or we need to read a research paper published in top-ranked journals. The other way to get a new idea is looking at the special issues, especially the special issues in top-ranked journals, because in these special issues, you will find new and attractive articles, ideas. So for example, modern slavery and the accounting profession. This was an idea suggested by some guest editors, and they invite authors to write in this idea and submit. For me, it was new to know that we have something called modern slavery. So what I did, I start searching for this concept. And also, if you open this website in the link, this slide, if you open, you will find the guest editor suggest some references. So using these references will help you to write a very good proposal for master degree or PhD. And if you are a member of staff, based on these references, you will have a good background about the topic. So looking at a special issue, it opened my mind and my eye as well to a new concept in accounting field that can be used in my research. So special issues is a valid source of information. So if you are interested in marketing, for example, search Google for special issues in marketing. If you search for special issues in accounting, you will get many accounting fields. So whatever the field you have, search for special issues and write the field. And you can also write to 2021 or 2020 to see the most recent special issues. So this one example to give you an idea how to get information about new topics. This another one, special issue in accounting and business research, talking about accounting, accountability, investment, and corporate governance in the global context. So reading this call for paper for the special issue, give me the ability to think about linking investment with accounting or linking investment with governance. So I start doing some research on investment efficiency and governance, investment efficiency and disclosure, and so on. Also, there's another special issue here, Society 5, Industry 4 Relation and Implications. So again, if you need to search for new topics, you need to find out what Society 5 mean, what Industry 4 mean, and also based on your field. My field in accounting. So what I did, I wrote just Society 5 reporting to see if companies disclose information about something called Society 5, or Industry 4 reporting to see what kind of information related to Industry 4 or Society 4. So I looked at this keyword from the accounting point of view. So you can look at the same point from marketing or from any other field point of view. Also, you need to know the major accounting conferences in your field, and these are the major accounting conference in accounting: AAA, EAA, BAFA, CAAA, AFAANZ, and also most of the top-ranked journals organize a yearly conference. So you need to keep an eye on these kind of conferences to be up to date about any new topic disclosed. Also, one of the most important sources of getting new idea is to look at the professional publication. So for the professional publication, we have in accounting professional bodies like ACCA, CIMA, FRC, Financial Reporting Council, and ICAEW. Also, you need to look at professional articles published in professional journals like Financial Times, Accounts Daily, and also you need to read the newspapers and to listen to the news which is related to your field. For example, BBC provides some information about what we are interested in accounting or finance. So for example, this one of the professional journals is called Journal of Accountancy. In the journal, they discuss a topic which attracted me when I read it and which led me to think about how can I use this topic in the field of accounting. The topic was about Industry 4, how it's shaping the accounting industry. So they believe that Industry 4 will change accounting. So in order to understand this topic in details, I start reading what Industry 4 mean, and based on the meaning, how can this concept affect accounting? It was very interesting and it opened my eye to different research projects related to Industry 4. So again, I just repeat myself now, you will not be able to get these topics without reading. So you need to read professional articles to get an idea about the new topics proposed by professional people in your field. Also, if you look at this one, this report by Financial Reporting Council, they produce a report about high quality disclosure needed to reflect the impact of COVID-19. So they here, how can we reflect the impact of COVID-19 and what they mean by high quality disclosure? So there is some disclosure related to the COVID-19. So reading this report again opened my eye to a new idea about COVID-19 related disclosure and the concept of high quality disclosure. Also, a British topic about Brexit and the impact of Brexit on financial reporting. And this report is published by ICAEW. Again, open the eyes of many researchers to look at the impact of Brexit on financial reporting, how companies discuss Brexit in their report, and how does this affect different stakeholders. Also, if you look at professional bodies and as well as some professional newspaper, you will find that they give us something about what happened in practice. For example, we have one company collapsed. So there is an article about governance lesson of Carillion collapse. So again, this gives us indication that based on the professional articles, we can build an idea because they look at the governance lesson here from the professional point of view. So we can use our academic point of view to discuss the same issues. Thomas Cook, another collapse. So we have in our literature bankruptcy. So we can link bankruptcy literature with this kind of collapse, and we can use case study here to investigate this case in details. But what I want to say again, this professional literature highlights this problem or this research problem. So we as a researcher can investigate this research problem in more academic way. Okay, so once you put many research ideas, you need to think about the resources, because without resources, without access, you will not be able to complete the idea. So first of all, you need to find out if you have enough literature so you can write the literature review. Do you have access? Do you have data available for your topic? Do you have IT? So computer, we have computer, of course, but do you have the econometrics skills? Because some of the topics need some econometrics skills. So you need to decide whether you will be qualitative or quantitative based on the topic. And also, if you are qualitative, you need to be sure that you have access to people who will help you to answer the research questions by questionnaires or the interviews. So data might be collected from interviews or questionnaires, primary data or secondary data. So what I found is some people in some countries struggle to find data and they don't have access to data. And at the same time, I found data is not a big problem if your study is cross-country study or if your study is US study. Why it is not problem? Because I found many researchers provide cross-data data for cross-country study in their website. And this one example by Muhammad Mukhimar, he provide a link in his page to all available cross-country studies. So if you struggle to get data in your country to do a research, you can think about producing cross-country study based on the data available in this kind of websites. Also, many US researchers provide all the data used in their research. So when you read the article, you might find data availability available upon request from the author, or you might find the author refer you to a link which include all data. So here, for example, you will find data. If you press, you will get all the data used in the research idea. So I found this for most of the researchers. So I will share this PowerPoint with you. If you are interested in these ideas, you can check these websites and you can check what types of data they have. So as you can see, data, they have all the data used in their research. Also, another researcher provides his papers online and also the program he has used in running the analysis. He used a SAS program. So he put the program as well to help the researcher to run the analysis if they are using SAS. So most of the US universities now, researchers there provide data, so find data about governance index, blockholder data, double class data. So again, these most of the researchers do as kind to help researchers here. So this all is outside. Also, I found very, very interesting this journal, the journal called Data in Brief. And this provides a way for researchers to easily share and reuse each other dataset by publishing data. So this journal is specialized in publishing data. So if you are interested, for example, to do a research on Sultanate of Oman, governance in Oman, if you search this journal, you will find that there is an article with a link which gives you access to all data related to corporate governance in Oman. If you are interested in disclosure in Jordan, I think there's an article there. So this advice for all researchers, if you have data and you need to publish this data, you can publish in this journal. And also, if you need data, please check this journal. You might find some interesting data for your research. Last point, if you don't have access, I think the best way is to collaborate with other people who might have access elsewhere. So research collaboration will help you to get access to data, to get access to softwares, different techniques, will help you to produce more publication. It will help you also to share the knowledge with others. And of course, this reduces the burden of the work on you. So if you are academic staff, if you do research, and if you collaborate with two people, I think the work will be divided by 3, rather than you can do all the work yourself. And this also eliminates the problem of data accessibility and also resources availability. So these all ideas I have. And before I end that, I would like to say that review articles is very important. Some researchers have no data and struggle in their country to use data, but they found writing a review article like narrative review or systematic review or meta-analysis review article helps them to get their promotion in their country, in their university. So what they do, they collect articles and they do a systematic literature review, and systematic literature review can be easily published in top-ranked journals. So this, again, one way to get a target is just, if you don't have empirical data, you can think about meta-analysis review or systematic review or the narrative literature review, and you can have an interesting idea, and then you can publish this idea and get your promotion in your country. I will end at this point, and also I would like to thank you very much for inviting me today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Khaled, for your valuable session. And it was most demanding and very important for early career researcher. And if any of the participants has question, they can ask and they can raise their hand. You have right to unmute them and you can answer their queries. Any other participant having question? I think.
Okay, if
No
no
question.
questions, that's fine.
Our understanding. Normally I teach business research method to new
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So this is Anam. Actually, Dr. Hanjara is having some internet issue. He will be joining us in a moment. Meanwhile, we can take question. There's a hand raise. Dilshad, if you can see him, you can take question.
Yes, Dilshad, please unmute your mic and ask.
Okay. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dilshad Bano. I'm doing my PhD in international relations, although my field is entirely different from your field. But literally, I enjoy your whole presentation. I was just asking that, can we use the same methodology for selecting our topic? The same methodology by inserting like the way you told us. We have to just need to check topic regarding our field. Your presentation was awesome. I really enjoyed. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for presenting such a wonderful, giving ideas for us how to, search a good topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dilshad, for your question. Of course, what I presented today, I just want to give example from my field, from accounting. But if you follow the same steps, the same method, I'm sure that you will have a large number of research ideas in your field. So just
Thank
if you
you.
follow the steps, it will be fine. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. And if is it possible to share your presentation, that would be much appreciated or better for us.
Okay, I will do. I will do.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Stay blessed.
Thank
Bye.
you. So another question from Osman. Osman Shaukat.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum
Sir,
salam.
I am Usman Shukal from International Islamic University and doing PhD in finance from there. My supervisor, Dr. Abdul Rahman Saab, told me about this webinar and I attended this. And I would like to appreciate your efforts. Such a fruitful and wonderful presentation you presented to us. And the issue which I faced in my MS thesis was of data collection, but now after this presentation, I think you have told many different websites and different things from where we can collect the data. So thank you very much for this, sir. Just I want to ask this. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much, Osman. And if you need the PowerPoint, just email me. I will write my email here. So feel free to email me. I will send you the PowerPoint, all of you. Okay, so Tasawwur Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, Tasawwur. How are you?
Fine. First, I appreciate your presentation webinar. I very much like it. I am Tasawwur Ahmed from Pakistan. I am doing an MPhil in library science, and that's my third semester. And I am starting my research right now. First, I choose a topic, and I am very much confused about that. I am selection one library in my country, and I want to define a role. I want to know which area I can select in which area I define a role of my role of development in Library of Pakistan's, and few of libraries very much e-libraries and other libraries are working very much in Pakistan. Can you suggest me any topic about this?
Okay, thank you, Tasawwur, for. Did you join us from the start of the talk today?
I am which were disconnected in 2-3 times. That's why I'm missing.
Because one of the advice I talked today about it is that you can't ask a doctor or a professor to help you in a topic. I think you need to read. You need to, first of all, you need to have a research interest. You need to ask yourself which area I'm interested in. Then you need to read articles from top-ranked journals, recent articles. And by reading, you will find many research ideas. So again, you need to find out which of these ideas you are interested in. And once you find a research idea you are interested in, you need to find out the research gap in this idea. And once you find a research gap, you can think about considering this as your research topic because you will fill this research gap in this particular research idea. So I'm not in your field, so I can suggest an idea. And even if I am in your field, I will suggest you to start reading because by reading, you will discover yourself which idea attracts you well. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I am checking here in the lots of review paper and literature review, but I am not find the role of any e-libraries or other libraries in the Pakistan. But internationally, lot of literature are available. But in Pakistan, not can I do a research if not work in Pakistan? Any scholars?
Yes, because you don't find research in this area in Pakistan, this means that there is a great research gap. So you need to fill this gap. In this case, if you do research in this area, it will be a major contribution to the literature. So I should encourage you to invest more time and effort in this area.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Faridullah. Faridullah, do you have a question?
Yes.
You are muted, Farid. Faridullah, I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sir, what is the difference between the project and thesis?
Okay. Research project, it might be a research proposal, and the research proposal contains the research idea and the plan to finish this idea. A thesis is a completed work, so you have all chapters included from introduction, literature, methodology, empirical analysis, and the conclusion. So thesis is a completed work. Research proposal is just a proposal, just a plan, just an idea for a research. Okay, Zakirullah.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sir, I am Zakirullah, student of MS from Islamic International University. Sir, actually, I'm doing my MPhil thesis. I select my topic, as you said, from the limitation. But my supervisor told me that on this, I select financial literacy, and he said that in this topic, a lot of work done. In many research paper, they give us a future research direction. I select my model from that. So can we work on this or not?
Okay, for financial literacy, I have one student who has completed his PhD recently in this area. So I think you need to convince your supervisor that you have something new. So discuss with your supervisor or write to him to show him what is the incremental contribution in your work compared with what has been done before.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, can you suggest any top finance journal from where we can see the latest papers or trends?
Yes, for finance journal, there is Journal of Finance, Journal of Banking and Finance. But if you read my slides, you will find out all ranking, and you will find top ranked journals in finance scored as 4 or 3 in ABS or A in ABDC.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay.
Hey, brother Khaled.
Yes.
Yeah, I think its session is over, and all the participants have made their questions if any of the participant was having any query. And first, and I would apologize for internet. Today we are facing internet connection problem here in Pakistan, especially in Islamabad. That's why due to poor internet connection, there were some technical problems. Most of the time I was connecting, disconnecting, and so on. Anyways, I would like to thank you for your time, and it's a wonderful session, and I hope it will help our early career researcher as well to academic people. And I would like to thank to all participants for their time, and as well as your valuable lecture.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. God bless you.